Common running motivation killers and how to overcome them. This is something that the last couple of weeks has really thrown at me, and I want to share with you the reasons why most runners stop running, why they quit, throw in the towel and say enough is enough, and how to fix it. Whether you're new to running or whether you are an intermediate, look, we're all runners and we're all human and we all have our issues. But these are some of the biggest issues, the reasons I'm going to list today. So I'm going to try to tell you all of this while I'm on my run this morning. It's probably not going to be pretty. It's been a while since I've been running, and I printed out some of my notes, right, I got in my hand. So I may have to stop along the way and kind of review my notes so I can actually tell you, because trying to remember all this in my head after the last couple of weeks I've had, it's very difficult. First reason most people quit running is when they get injured, and it's a pretty sad state when that happens, because IT band, well, knee and IT band, shin splints, Achilles issues, you know, name these issues that happen when you're a runner. And there's a lot of runners who turn around and go, specifically if you're new, turn around and say, you know what, running's not for me. I can't do this. I'm just not meant to be a runner. I keep getting injured. And you know, that's a fair statement if that's where you're at. But most of these injuries you can overcome them, right? They don't need to happen in the first place, right? I know myself when I started running, like, nobody really teaches you how to eat properly. Nobody teaches you how to run properly. Like, when was the last time you went to a class and they said, this is how you run? Nobody, like, I don't know one. I mean, maybe if you go to school for sports physiology or something like that, or you become a coach. But again, you're not going to sit in a classroom with other people to learn how to be a runner. And I think, you know, a lot of these injuries stem from not being educated and how to prevent a lot of these injuries from happening. Look, there's a lot on the list. It's just I'm out for a run and just trying to remember all of these, you know, in my head. It's always a challenge. So how do you run and not get injured? Well, one of the first things I did was slow down. You don't need to go fast. Like right now, I'm running slow. I'm out of breath because it's been a couple of weeks or maybe a month since I've really been training really well. And this is something I'm going to talk about later on in today's video, because I think you need to hear it. I think you need to hear why that's been going on. But going back to our list, so you get injured. The majority of runners don't know how to handle it, and so they quit. They're like, yeah, I'm done with that. You know, I'm too fat, right? Like I weigh so much. You know, my ankles hurt. You know, the shin splints are killing me. I feel awful after a run, right? You get these injuries, right? Or if you're an intermediate runner and you're like, yeah, I've been running like, you know, 100 miles a week, you know, and I just get off the couch. I mean, that doesn't help, right? That doesn't help at all. Because then you pick up, you know, overuse injuries, you burn out, all these things happen, and then you pack it in and go, yeah, I tried running long distance, but, you know, I got injured. Slow down. You don't need to be running so much at the beginning, right? Build slowly each week, right? Work on your form, right? Going to the gym, or even just being out here, right? And doing some lunges, right? Like, lunges are great. Do that a couple of times during the week before a run. Work on your core, right? Work on your core, because this core, it's your stability muscles. It's what keeps you upright when you run. Look, this is nothing new, but when you're a runner, all you want to do is run, and you don't want to go to the gym and work out, right? Even doing extra things, it adds on more time, which leads into the other reason that they kind of quit. Well, because of injuries, but they also quit because then they stop running for a while, and then it's hard for them to kind of get back into it because they haven't built up the habit yet. It's like that vicious cycle that happens. A lot of these things happen to me, and look, it may happen, or they may have happened to you, or you could be going through it right now. There's something that runners do that does help, and that is don't get stagnant, right? So when you pick up that injury, get out there and keep doing low impact sports, right? Maybe do yoga, maybe get on the bike and start biking. Maybe that's the thing that you need to do. Or maybe you love to swim, but you're trying to find time to swim and run as hard, but it gives you the opportunity. It's like, okay, I just got injured. Let's keep the low impact cardio going, because when I'm rehabbed, I want to at least have a little bit of my stamina so I can keep kind of building on that, as opposed to kind of starting the cycle all over again. Burnout and boredom. It's a real thing. Burnout and overtraining shows up as chronic fatigue. And when it does, it's awful. It's not a good feeling, right? And packing it in because of that, you know, if you're new to the sport, it's something that's a real possibility for you. And I know it was for me, like running so many more miles, you know, without being used to doing that, it can show up in ways that you don't really know, other than like you're not sleeping well, you kind of feel just like burned out, tired, you know. And these are the things that continue with the struggle with motivation, because I know when I went through the whole burnout, it was hard to find any motivation to continue if something was making you feel so bad. So why bother do it? And because of that, you know, people quit. And now here's something else, and this is kind of true for me. You know, running in the same location, the same heart rate zone, the same route, the same distance, the same time, same everything, can get really boring. And when it gets boring, what kind of motivation do you have to get out there and do the thing? And that's huge for me, because, you know, I'm a creature of habit. I enjoy going out and doing, you know, a certain run for a certain time or distance, but there reaches a point where it's not fun anymore. And then the motivation lags, and then you're like, I don't want to do that again. Like, it's just boring, and I'm not doing anything different, and there's no stimulus, and you know, that happens, right? Like today, I'm heading out, I found myself on the track, which is kind of where I am now. And I'm like, you know, I'm filming this video the morning that I'm gonna be releasing this video. And because I didn't have the motivation, I just like had this breakdown, and I went away to visit my friends up north. Good catch. And because I did that, you know, no video went out on Thursday, you know, no runs happened really, other than getting lost in the woods with my buddy on a bike hike type of thing. Yeah, like the motivation didn't happen. So now here I am Sunday morning trying to be consistent in my running, which has been awful, and realizing that my video isn't even done. So, you know, I wanted to talk about my personal experience with this. Like, you're not alone if you struggle. You're not alone if you're going through the things I'm talking about today. Happens to all of us, and I'm out of breath because I'm trying to film this video and I'm trying to do my run, trying to maximize my time, and I'm failing pretty hard right now. All right, let's continue on with the next one, shall we? There needs to be a recovery first strategy when dealing with this whole boredom and injuries. And taking a down week is okay. Even if you take it 2 days off, or sorry, 2 weeks off, it's okay. None of us plan this into our schedule. Like myself, like I remember when I ran like 90 days straight, there was nothing, no days off, just go. And that was fine for a while, but then it wasn't, right? So, you know, being smart about recovery weeks, like maybe you run 4 weeks and then take a lower mileage week the next week, like on the 5th week, right? Or maybe you just plan a vacation before you hit that whole, I'm gonna have a breakdown and life is too much on me and I need that break. I'm hitting all these struggles, right? Maybe you need to schedule a little bit of time away from running is a good thing. There's always an off season for some runners, specifically if you're elite. And so knowing your body, knowing when to kind of reduce it, you know, goes a long way. So mixing it up, that's another thing that you can do. I'm on the track mixing it up right now, trying to be a little bit different. When was the last time I was on the track running around in a circle talking to you guys? Like, it's been a little bit of a while since I did that. There's nobody here. It's Sunday morning. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. I got the whole place to myself, right? I can talk to a camera and no one's looking at me. Not that it really matters. I mean, I do it all the time. I'm kind of used to it by now. But yeah, it's an important thing, recovery, for your mind and your body and your soul. I'm going to share a stat with you, but I'm going to read it because I can't kind of remember all the words I want to say, so I'm reading this part, right? So here's the inconsistent schedule and discipline. Okay, that's me right there. Life distractions, work, family, Netflix, you name it, can bump running down the list. Studies show that most new runners actually quit not because of injury, but due to motivation or time issues. Nearly 1 in 3 novices who stopped running cite lack of motivation, 38%, or an inconsistent schedule, 34% as the reason. We're nearly 10 times more than those that quit because of injury. Like, how crazy is that? You're not even injured and you're quitting because of life distractions. That's a real thing. Trying to find it into your schedule can be a little hard. So it kind of leads into the thing here is habit building. Treat running like a non-negotiable routine. Lay your gear out in shoes regular time of day so your mind learns to accept, the run time. Just like brushing your teeth, research on habit formation suggests pairing cues with rewards. For example, if it's a morning and I hear my running playlist, then I go for a run because I get a long hot shower. Post this plan on your fridge or calendar. Always go out at the same time or after a fixed trigger, after, such as like dropping the kids off at school, after work, before you got to get in the car and go to work in the morning. These things really, look, short runs, they're okay. 5-10 minutes running, you're still a runner. Just because you're running not very long or very far doesn't mean that you're not a runner. Look, just building these tiny little bits into your schedule can really go a long way. My page is so wet, it's so humid. My pages are just starting to disappear here. Sometimes the hardest part is getting out the door, but once you're out, you can always add minutes. And remember, it's about sticking to the routine, not the distance. Daily little wins build discipline, and they prevent the all or nothing mentality that derails many new beginners, even intermediate runners, such as myself. Accountability and enjoyment. If you don't have either of those, then it may be hard, right? So I would suggest use social support to stay disciplined, like run with friends or join a club. Then canceling means letting them down too. Share your commitment with family on social media to make it real. Set short-term milestones like a 5K race, midweek speed workout. Maybe sign up for that marathon or half marathon that that you're going to be doing. That's something that I know I keep talking about and I still haven't signed up for because I'm still back and forth trying to figure out which one it's going to be. I think it's going to be the one up in Georgia, which is kind of in the, what is it? Not Uxbridge area. It's kind of north of Uxbridge. I forget the name of the town it's in. It's on just by where the water is on Lake Simcoe. Oh my gosh. Okay, seriously, the paper is one big clump. I can't even, hold on. Okay, here we go. How about this for quitting running? It's the
over 100
negative,
miles?
It's the mental block and mindset
Hell
of
yeah.
a runner. And I find that a lot of us runners struggle with, self-talk, right? Remember what I mentioned before at the beginning of the video, where I was talking about how, you kind of look at yourself and you're like, I'm not a runner, I'm too fat, I'm overweight, I can't do this. You start saying all these negative things like, I'll never be able to run further than this, I'll never be able to do this, and you start saying things to yourself that you wouldn't say to another person, another runner, you wouldn't say that to somebody, right? I mean, I'm hoping that you wouldn't say that to somebody because it's not a nice thing to say. But we, as the individual who is saying it to ourselves, whether it's internally or externally while you're on a track or walking somewhere and you're down on yourself, well, what good is that going to do for your motivation to keep running, to not quit? And that, to me, that's a big, that's a red flag. So there are some things that you can do to help get through that process. So something that I've done specifically when I'm down and I'm really struggling in a race, or if I'm out for my long run and I feel like I'm just starting to just fall apart. So I'm kind of running like this and I'll be like, okay, Dave, you just need to get to the next lamppost, right? If you get to the next lamppost, you can reevaluate how you feel. Okay, we're almost there. We're getting there. Okay, fire hydrants over there, lampposts right there. Okay, all right, I'm here now. Fantastic. Okay, so can we get to the next one? All right, we did that one, right? Maybe we can get over there. And then you know what? Maybe I can reevaluate. If I get to the climbers over here, I can reevaluate how I'm doing. And if I reevaluate and I think I can go a little bit further, maybe I can do one more K. or 1 more mile. It's something I can do. Okay, David, focus on your breathing. Okay, I got it in place. Great. Look, you're doing good. I got this. I can do this. It's not as hard as I think it is. Right? I am strong. I'm a strong runner. I got this. Right? It's all on me. I'm improving each week. I got this. I can do this. No problem. Stronger for this. I don't care if it's raining. I don't care if it's too hot. Like, I'll just go out and I'll do the thing I know I need to do. I can make it happen. Yeah, baby. It's all in my head. I got it. I can do this. This is good. That's how I do it. That's what I do when I struggle, right? There's a lot of other people who have their own ways of doing it, but that's mine, right? So now it leads into the next one. I think this is probably one of the most important things that you need to know is why are you out running? What is your goal for this thing, right? Because runners who stick with it often have a deeper motivation. Is it stress release? You know, is it for your health? Is it for confidence? Is it just for sheer enjoyment? Is it for the sheer enjoyment of it? You know, anchor on that reason when running feels pointless. And research has found that having a personal, meaningful why, rather than just saying, I need to exercise, helps people overcome obstacles like life getting in the way. Remind yourself of progress. Compare where you are now to where you were when you started. Even slow improvements is improvement. And that's what I tell myself all the time. Even if I go backwards, it doesn't matter. Look, life is not a linear line. It doesn't just go straight up, right? There's bumps in the way. It's messy. These things, it's real. But the thing is, if you stick with your why, so much more can change in your running. Okay, what's my next one that I put down? Maybe I can go for a run again. Hold on. We're getting there. Wait a sec, my hand's almost numb. Okay. Now I want you to realize you're not alone in your struggle. You're not alone in your frustration. You're not alone in your joy, right? We are runners. We get out, we do the deed. Sometimes it's not pretty, sometimes it's fantastic. But the thing is, if you're consistently getting out, doing what you know that's gonna bring you joy. I mean, really? That's just a win for me. Now, I did pull a lot of research on this because this is a video I've been wanting to make for a while, right? And there are some, there's lots of reasons why runners break out of your running slump, the 5 tips for preventing running burnout, overcome mental blocks when running, what are some reasons people stop running after a few months? Do novice runners quit mainly because of injuries? Making running a habit, overcoming mental hurdles for new runners, intermediate runners. Look, it's all there, man. It's all there. And whether you're out doing the thing or you're not, you just got to find something that you literally just got to get out and find something that you're passionate about, something that lights you up. To a superhero, what would it be? Maybe if I was faster, I would think of me being the Flash, but I'm far from that. I think I'm just steady, right? I'm steady in my running. I'm positive. I always try to turn all these negative things into a positive and just make it happen. Because the only person who's going to get you out of where you are is yourself. I know it's been a rough go for me the last this year, I would say, right? It hasn't been the greatest. It started off good, but it's kind of gone downhill. But it's life. It is what it is, and I'm not one to kind of moan about it. I'll get out there and I'll do my thing. Good morning. I'll get out and I'll do what I need to do. The problem is going up these hills while trying to run, keep my heart rate low, and talk to the camera. That's a hard thing. It's a hard thing to do, specifically when I haven't been running that much. And sometimes I do feel like I'm failing at where I want to be and all of that. And again, you can start going down that road, and it's tough. It's tough when you're when you're on social media, you're on YouTube, and you make these videos, and I'm talking about all this out loud. It's like my diary. It's kind of like I'm kind of talking to myself and just iterating the things that, you know, I've been struggling with or going through. And that's why I went away. That's why I went away to be with my friends. I needed an outlet. I needed a safe place I could be. I've been friends with these people since I was like 15 years old. That's a long time. And they get me, they understand. I don't even need to say anything to any of them, you know. And you know, here's some video. I'm going to talk, and then I'm going to put some B-roll up on the screen so you can see. This is where I was, right? I'm actually in the middle of the forest, away from everything, away from people. I mean, there's only a couple of, maybe about 10 lots on this lake. Not many people, but there's so many bears up in this part of the country, right? But, you know, we went out. My friend Gary and I, we went up, or my friend Ian and I went for a bike ride, and we found this big thing on the road. It was off of a trailer with a big spike in the middle of it. It looked like a big thumbtack, but it was a bolt, and it was pretty crazy. Anyways, we stopped, and he goes, "Dave, I think somebody's gonna have a bad day. If they run over this, their tire's gonna go." So anyways, we went, we got it off the road. You know, all was good. His bike busted. Next thing you know, we're walking the bike back because his wheel would move back and forth. I think the spindle in the middle was broken. And then I'm like, okay, that kind of sucks. I mean, we're like, I don't know, it was like 2 miles away from the camp where we were. And the next thing you know, a buddy of mine shows up, Gary, and he has his bike. He's like, "Ah, there you guys are." Anyways, my friend Ian goes, "Dave, go continue your bike ride with Gary. I'm on the road. It's not going to take me too long to get back." And Gary and I, we were out for a while. My watch died while we were out there, and we biked to this big massive hill, and it was a constant climb. I don't know how long it took, but it seemed to take forever to get to the outlook. But man, it was beautiful up there. Really nice. But then, you know, you get back, the day on the water is beautiful. Showed them my drone. Did all kinds of fun stuff. Absolutely beautiful. Good dinner, good lunch, you know, all that kind of stuff. But then, in the morning, when I got up at 6, I was gonna get going for the day. And guess what? I got a flat tire. I woke up to a flat tire, and it was the passenger side tire. And the first thing I thought about was, I'm gonna be the one who's gonna have the bad day, Ian, because I ran over that thing that we picked up off the road the day before, because it was on the exact same side of the road when I was driving there, and I ran over this thing. And it would have been exactly where I ran over it. But who knows, you know what? You know, we were able to get the tire off. It wasn't easy, I'll tell you that. But you know, the way it was parked on the dirt, low to the ground, hard to get the jack under there. But I got it all done. But put the dinghy on and then drove 6 hours home on this little thing. Because I couldn't get a repair anywhere because a lot of places were closed by the time I got out. And I was in like small towns, middle of nowhere. It's kind of hard to get service. Oh, and that's the other thing. Cell coverage is very spotty up there too. So if I had driven the night before and went home, something could have happened to me and I may have not gotten home. And so everything happens for a reason, I believe. I may not know why it happens. I may be frustrated the fact that I had to spend $74 to get it fixed the next day and time out of my day to get it done, but sometimes you gotta just roll with it, man. And it's like, this is where it is with running, right? Sometimes you're like, I just can't run today, I don't want to do it, and you put it off. And maybe you did it for a reason. Maybe you woke up and realized, oh, there's a niggle in my leg. I'm gonna be smart about this and I'm not gonna run because I don't want to get it injured, right? Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. All I do know is I continue to put one foot in front of the other. I continue to do what I know I need to do. I'm happy when I do it. I get to explore. I get to be out on my feet, and I feel amazing after a run. So if I can just remember these things, then I should be okay. I should be okay to continue. And this is where it leads me into, you know, what video do I think you could benefit from? I'd probably say the one that's on your screen right now. I think that video could help you. So maybe tune into that one next and let me know your thoughts. Like I always say, get out and run. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks for being here. I do appreciate it. To each and every one of you. And I felt like you only got this heart rate to go back down.